All right, to draw a person using measuring, I'm going to use this Army Man to show you how to do it. So the first thing that you always do is you take the actual height of the head, and then again, you can use any marker that you would like to use to kind of measure out as you go. A little chunk of paper works great so that you can mark it, and then that allows you to visually kind of count how many heads tall is your person based on the position that they are in. So in this case, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads tall. Then once you have that general concept down, the next thing is to kind of look at it and see what is the furthest part sticking out. So in this case, it's that back knee. And then the next thing I hit is the bottom foot. From there, I hit the side of the head, and the side of the head lines up with the actual knee. And you can do this just visually by closing one eye and looking at it. Then as I go on forward, I also hit the back edge of the gun. Then I start to hit the center of the face, the center of the hands, the end of the gun, the edge of the face. Then as I keep going, I hit the tush, and then I hit the shoulder. So that information is really helpful, but then you can do the same thing going up and down. So I hit the head first, and then next I hit these shoulders, and you can even track the actual line that the shoulders are on, which is really helpful. And then as you go down, I hit the corner of that arm. I then hit the gun. Again, you can track the actual line that the gun is on. Then I hit the bottom of this hand that's holding it. Next, I come on down and I have the hips. Again, I can intersect that with a line, signifying that this would be kind of the start of that one hip, and then I'd have the back hip obviously starting higher, and then that happening will cause this knee to be in a different position than this knee. Since this one's in front, it tends to be a little bit closer. I then hit the back of his foot about along with the calf, and then I hit the bottom of the foot. So once you've taken that visual information by looking at the actual form, you can then use that to go ahead and draw. So if I even draw right next to him, I know that he's 6 heads tall. So I put that information on my paper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? Then I can also track the other information. So I know that just below the head gets the shoulder. I can visually look at the character, take that measurement, and pull it right over and apply it to my drawing. I'm not worried about the length at this point. Then once I get that, I know that if I go down 1, 2 heads, that this is where that arm hits, so I can go ahead and put that line on there. Again, not worrying about the length. Then right below that in the third section, I know I have that angle of that gun. So again, not worrying about the length, just kind of the general placement. I'm plopping that down. Then as I finish, I know that this is my hip section, so I can get that angle down. And then it kind of crosses along that hip line. And then I could go ahead and note the angle of the legs, but I'm instead gonna note the locations of where they change. So coming down, just above here is where that other knee is gonna hit, and then just below there in the next category, but slightly over, is where the next knee hits. And then as I come down, I know that that back foot connected to this knee is hitting just below this area here. And then the next foot is hitting just below in this area here. Then you take that same information and now you pull this way. I know that that dot for that knee has to be the furthest thing sticking out, but when I do this, I don't have that. So I would pull this dot on over into this space. You would continue to do that all the way across, and then once you have that, you can start to do shaping. You can even take that information and then you can apply it into getting additional angles. So I have that angle pulling there. I can check the shape of the shoulder. It's then angling this way. That body's tucked behind. This is pulling straight. That gun is not as long as I actually have it. Goes to there. That arm is dropping down, and then it's at a really weird angle, pivoting up. That body continues to drop on down as I look at it, pulling in slightly. I get to the tush during the 1, 2, 3rd head. So 1, 2, 3rd head space is where I'm going to start to pull back out again. Keeping in mind though that this tush does have to stay within the confines of that shoulder. This then pulls me down into that hip area, which means that this goes down and across. Let's see here. Oop, I got that angle too extreme. Then pulls down and connects to this foot. I have this guy heading backwards and then pulling up into this leg. And something looks wrong here. I think that guy, I think I got my dots confused. That guy should be here. Once you get that general shaping down, and it's really important that when you're doing this, you can like barely look up. These lines don't signify a good drawing. These lines signify placement that then would allow you to put the skin and the detail on top of your actual character.